Because when all else fades away, when they have the Word of God, when they know who they are, whose they are, they have a strong biblical worldview, all the other things can and will be learned.
Welcome to Little by Little Homeschool Podcast, where you'll learn tips and strategies that will empower you to home educate your children. I'm Leigh Nguyen, a homeschool mom of over 12 years, which includes 2 graduates. When I started homeschooling, I was pretty much on my own and was desperate for encouragement and help. My mission is to be a source of encouragement and help to you. Whether you are just beginning your homeschool journey or you're deep into the homeschool lifestyle, Little by Little Homeschool wants to help you stay the course, because all the time you are investing into your children is completely worth it. If you're ready to take your homeschool to new levels, keep listening.
Do you know what today is? It's an exciting day here for the Little by Little Homeschool Conference. Tickets are on sale right now. You can head over to littlebylittleHomeschool.com/conference. The link will also be in the show notes. Remember, tickets are available until they are not available. I have a strong feeling that we are going to sell out, and we are going to sell out hopefully maybe here soon. I mean, I say hopefully for me, so that then I'm like, okay, I know I've got all these women coming and we are then can just move into the next gear. But hopefully in not too much time that you are able to grab your ticket. We would love to be able to see you here in Syracuse, New York on October 18th, 2025. Grab some of your friends, come on out, and maybe even if you don't have friends, come. I can promise you that you will make some friends. So go head over to littlebylittleHomeschool.com/conference for all the details and to get your ticket. But now let's get into today's episode, where we're going to take a little bit of time to really reflect upon the past homeschool year. You might say, wait a minute, I still have a month left. Some of you do maybe have a month, 2 months left. Some of you might have a couple of days left or somewhere in between. As we're getting closer to the homeschool year, that's why I want to talk about this, because we have different timelines that we do our homeschool. And so this can be in your mind, whether you have a couple days left or a couple of weeks left or a couple months left. You can tuck it in the back of your mind so you can be thinking about this. So let's honestly review, look back upon the homeschool year. And I will tell you that at the end of some homeschool years, I'm like, that was a really good year. I am so happy with how the year went overall. It doesn't mean that every day was perfect. And then there's some homeschool years that I have said to myself, thank goodness that is over. Now, the reason for that second response might have something to do with me. It might have something to do with the kids. It might have something to do with just circumstances and life and the season of life that we were in at the time. But there's going to be some years where you're like, that was a really good year. And there's going to be some years you're going to say, that was a really rough year. And I'm glad that it's summer break. And that's just kind of a part of life. But I really hope that you will get to the point where you can say more often than not, that was a really good homeschool year, and that you are looking forward to when the next homeschool year starts, but you don't mind a break in between. And that's okay too. It's okay to admit that. For me, this homeschool year, when I have had kids that have wanted to start working in the spring and into the summer, my homeschool years have ended kind of suddenly short. And so it's been a little bit of an adjustment as kids get jobs and they get older and they have things going on. Whereas when they were little, I had a last day, we would do some fun things, and it would be a big thing sometimes, especially this year. It's kind of like, oh, okay, we're going to be winding down here sooner than I thought. So I am actually, spoiler alert, I'm happy with how this homeschool year has gone. It's been a good year. It's been a lot of work at times. It's been a lot of adjustments with him and figuring out where to spend our time. But I have not regretted the many hours of reading and doing our morning time together and discussing things and theology and next steps and politics in the world and just all kinds of stuff. It's been really good. And it's sometimes I could think, oh, I could be doing other things with my time. But you know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret that time with him. I don't regret still spending that time with my homeschool high schooler and pouring into him. Yeah, I could be doing other things. I could be cleaning done or something. But the floors being perfectly clean and mopped and everything all the time is not more important than pouring into his heart and guiding him and discipling him and being there for him. So tuck that in the back of your mind. It's something that I have had to learn and let go of things. And I love a tidy home. I love things being neat and put together, but it's not more important than my kids. So let's talk about this year. You already know how your homeschool year went, but let's use this homeschool year, the good, the bad, the ugly, and let's make some adjustments for next year. And let's even use what has gone on this year as some goals and some things that you want to work on and work towards for this summer. So I have identified 5 areas to reflect upon. The first one is, have you allowed God to sanctify you during this homeschool year? Sanctify you in your motherhood, sanctify you as a woman of God, sanctify you as a wife. Have you allowed him to do this? Have you created space for the pruning? Have you created space for the growth and the knowledge and the fear and the love of the Lord? Have you allowed time for this? Do you regularly spend time on your relationship with God? And this can come in times of just on your own, quietly, but also with the homeschooling, we can grow in great ways in our personal relationship with God through the homeschooling, through the curriculum, through the resources. There has been numerous books that I have pulled out and pulled together to go over with my kids, especially as they got to middle school and high school. And we are currently wrapping up one of those books. And this book is about when our fear of man is bigger than our fear of God. And it's really rocked my world a bit. It's kind of rattled me. It has exposed in my heart ways that I have been sinful, in ways that I have not, and I've been more fearful of man than I have of the Lord. And so we can allow homeschool and the materials and the things that we use, even though this book is a book that is meant for adults, and so I'm reading it to my 17-year-old, there were still times where I was reading a book for my children. Things like Adventures in Odyssey. I remember reading some of those books, the devotional book when they first came out. My kids loved it. And it was convicting for me and encouraging and sanctifying. So have you allowed God to sanctify you? This right here, you acknowledging that this is an opportunity for sanctification, is the biggest influence upon your homeschool. If your relationship is right with God and you are growing in the fruit of the Spirit, it will directly impact your homeschool because it's directly impacting your motherhood, and the motherhood directly impacts your homeschooling. The second area to reflect upon is your relationship with your kids and your husband. Now that we're at the end of the year, is that relationship with each individual of your children and your individual with your husband and your family as a whole, is it stronger? Is it tighter? Is it better than it was at the beginning of the year? Is there growth in that area? Or are those relationships more strained? And that can be an indication that there's some adjustments that need to be made. And possibly I find for myself that when those relationships, either with one of my children or with my husband, is strained, it's most likely because there's an area of sanctification that needs to be done in me. And yes, there can be areas of sanctification in the other person, but we can't make that happen. With our children, yes, we can speak into them and we can encourage, we can expose areas in their life that God wants to sanctify and work in them, but we can't make them be open to that. We can't make our husband be open to the areas that we see that he needs to allow God to grow in him. We can't do that, but we can open that up for ourselves. We can open our hands and we can say, Lord, I have been, whatever it is. Let's think of our husband. Lord, I have been nagging. Can you tell I'm talking about from personal experience here? I have been nagging him too much. Please root this out in me. Bring scripture to mind. Bring me to passages to read. Help to encourage me to stop being a nag and to not always, to be nagging. We know men do not like a nagging wife, right? And we know when we're doing it. So is your relationship with your kids and with your husband, is it better? Let's review that. Look at that. If it is, fantastic. Continue on that. If it is not, what are some adjustments that you can make? Where are areas you can work on this summer We don't just have to wait. We don't just let it be a free-for-all this summer and then be like, oh, okay, I'll work on not nagging my husband when we start school again in September. Nope, you can do it right now. Right now is a really good time to work on those areas in your relationship with your family that you know you need to. The third area to reflect upon is your curriculum and the different resources that you use, and the activities and the co-ops and all the things. Look at each one. So as you look at each one, ask yourself, is this adding or taking away life from us? Is this adding life for us, or is it taking away some? Is it a positive in our lives, or is it a negative in our lives? And so that really is a great way of deciding whether you're going to continue with something. So let's say it is a co-op, or say it is a sports league, whether it's a town league or a homeschool league, and you take a look at it and say, is this co-op, is this soccer team, or is this science curriculum? So we'll go with 3 very different things. Is it adding life to our family, or is it taking away life? Is it a positive in our life, or is it a negative in our life? And use that to decide whether or not you're going to continue with maybe that science curriculum, maybe that same company that produces that science curriculum. Not that I'm saying to do the same exact book or the same exact resource or focus next year, but you might say, wow, that curriculum was too much. It just sucked the life out of me for all those experiments. Well, then look for a different type of science curriculum. That co-op, it just took so much time and energy, and we're having another baby or whatever it is. Or you might say, that co-op really poured into us. It was so good. It gave us life, and we just have so much joy about it. Well, then definitely do that again. Take a look at the soccer leagues, just looking at each thing, and is it a positive in our life or a negative in our life? But then also for next homeschool year, evaluate a lot of different things that are going to be different, just even in a couple of months. The maturity and age of your kids, things are going to change. So evaluate each of those different things that you are spending your time and your energy and your money on. The fourth area to reflect upon is, did the decisions that you made, such as in number 3 we were talking about, the curriculum, the maybe co-ops and the different activities and the resources, things that you were using, did they work towards achieving that vision for your family? I really hope that you have taken the time to create a vision for your family, whether this is overall, just totally for your family, or just your homeschool. You might not be able to think overall for your family quite yet, or maybe not overall for your homeschool quite yet, but I encourage you to do at least one of those, and to remember that homeschool is not to be put into a box and into we do homeschool from 9 a.m. to noon, and then that's it, and the rest is our family time. No, it's all integrated into just family life. So those decisions, those things that you used as resources, how you spent your time, the curriculum, the activities, the sports clubs, the church clubs, did they work towards achieving your vision for your family? Maybe there's an activity and it just seemed to cause some contention. Maybe the other people that are involved, or maybe it's an adult Bible study that you and your husband go to, or a women's Bible study that you go to, and it's just not your people. And it just is not people that are pouring life into you and are not encouraging you in your journey of sanctification and in your relationship with God. You might say that doesn't align with the vision that we have for our family. It's okay to step away from those things. It's okay for people to be slightly upset with you at first. They will get over it, because guess what? We think that people are thinking about us. They are not thinking about you as much as you think that they are thinking about you. There might be some hurt feelings when you pull out of things. There's been plenty of things that we have pulled out of, and I mean, even just moving to homeschooling from public school. And there were hurt feelings. People took things personally. Like, this is not personally. Sometimes, I'll be honest, it may have been personal. It might have been, I really don't feel that you are adding to my life or adding to my children's life, and we don't necessarily want you to be their leader in something. And we wouldn't put it that way. We would just simply say, we're going to try something different. We're going to do something different. And I didn't feel like I wanted to ruin a relationship with somebody because I didn't think that they were going to be a good leader. We ran into this exactly with youth group many, many years ago, before my daughter was even in youth group. And we did not feel that the leader that the church had appointed was somebody who could guide her into deeper theological understanding and a deeper relationship with God. And we were getting ready to find a different youth group for her to attend. And we knew there was going to be a lot of hurt feelings, but we knew that we needed to stay aligned to our vision for how we were going to raise our children. Long story short, we ended up moving before we even got to that point. So we didn't have to cross that bridge, but we were willing to. So what is your vision for your family? And be willing to do the things that are going to add to their lives, that are going to help you to reach that vision. And yes, the visions change, and that isn't the ultimate goal. I hope that the ultimate goal is aligned with your biblical worldview and that you tie that into your vision. And the last thing, area to reflect upon as we're doing an honest review of the homeschool year is, did you work on your goals? The goals that hopefully you have set for your homeschool year. I know that we talked about it before this homeschool year that we are about to complete. And this vision and these goals, when I'm saying these things, you're like, I don't know where to start. This is exactly what we do together in your homeschool blueprint. And I hope that you have done these. You can do them independently, but if you need guidance, you're going to want to go over to your homeschool blueprint, which is at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/blueprint, as well as the link is in the show notes. But did you work on your goals? I love to set some goals for the year, and it doesn't mean that if you don't achieve one or all of the goals, that the year was fruitless, that it was useless and you should just give up. Absolutely not. Have you started seeing some progression? Have you started seeing some movement? Have you seen something positive in reaching those goals? Sometimes we set goals that are too high. Maybe a goal is that you would like for maybe your first grader who says he doesn't like to read. Maybe your goal is for him to be interested in books. That's a great goal. And maybe that way of getting that is not necessarily forcing him to read books, but just doing more read alouds. And he kind of sticks around and lingers and doesn't complain about books. And you might catch him flipping through some books or pretending to read books. And he just isn't quite interested in reading them himself yet, but you're starting to see that books are not so bad for him. Well, that's great. That would be a great goal that you are working towards. It doesn't have to be the goal that I want him to be reading by the end of first grade. Let's be reasonable. Look at each child individually. And so a lot of those goals don't even necessarily have to do with the curriculum. They can do with all kinds of things and activities or areas of growth that you want to see in your kids. It could be something like a goal of, I want to include some type of Bible study or Bible reading or something into every homeschool day that we have. That's a beautiful goal. And I hope that you do have that goal. And I hope that that maybe has been your goal and you've continued with that goal. And we start to create a habit. And there's a lot of homeschool moms that I run into that say, I just have a hard time making that a priority. Guess what? It has to be the priority. Because when all else fades away, when they have the Word of God, when they know who they are, whose they are, they know they have a strong biblical worldview that they can approach things, all the other things can and will be learned. Yes, they need to have a good foundation of math and reading and writing, those 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. But that foundation, yeah, it's important, and you'll get to that. I promise that you'll get to that. But all of the deeper things, if they want to go crazy into some math and science, the names of courses that I probably don't even know, if they have that desire, they will pick up on it. But right now, while they are under your roof, you get to feed that desire, that hunger that they want to know, how does the world work? Why does it work this way? And science is a great way, and nature, for kids to be able to engage in God's world. So did you work, all right, I'm taking a rabbit trail there, but did you work on your goals? I hope you did. So I hope that you take some time to honestly review this homeschool year. And remember, you don't have to wait for the next homeschool year to begin to make any type of adjustments or any type of, especially heart issues that need to be worked on for yourself. Some discipleship. The summer is a really good time to be able to work on those areas. And again, if you are ready to create your best homeschool year, create that vision, create those goals, your homeschool blueprint is where you're going to find that. You can get all the information at littlebylittlehomeschool.com/blueprint. Now is a great time. You can use it to help evaluate and look at the end of this homeschool year. You can get it now, work on it over your summer break, and be all ready to hit the ground running for the next homeschool year. I hope that this this episode has encouraged you, has caused you to stop and to think and to pause and to make some really good adjustments. And also, it's okay to pat yourself on the back and say, you know what? We did good. This was a good year. It was a blessing to us. It was a blessing to our children and to those that we encountered. And that I would call a very successful homeschool year.
Thank you for listening, friend. I'd love to connect with you more. You can find social media links in the show notes and share this episode with a friend who could use a boost to her homeschool. See you back here real soon.